Good morning. My name is Svanhildur Svavas Kristjánsson. I'm an autism teach certified consultant. I work in Arizona and have also worked quite a lot in Iceland. But now I have a very good friend of mine, an autistic lady. I want to talk about her as a lady. She is autistic. And we have discussed and talked about many things. And today we're going to talk about sensory processing issue, which I think is quite heavily impacted in the field and among people on the spectrum. And Ingibjörg, I would love to hear your point of view and discuss this with me.
Yes, if we first start about talking about sensory issues in general, then many autistic people, they they want a special texture on their food. They are very sensitive to the way that the food is put on the plate. They don't want to mix food, like they don't want to mix the rice with the sauce, and everything has to be in separate compartment. That's very common, and they are very sensitive. Their palate is very sensitive. That may be actually taste, that they are very sensitive to the like the texture of the food. And then we have sensory issues often related to light. We are very sensitive to fluorescent light bulbs, and we are sensitive towards blinking lights, you know, and like discotheque lights and all kinds of lights. And we can actually, some of us are also like, can get seizures. I have once in my life experienced a seizure, even though I'm not really, you know, that does not happen to me often, only once, but we can, I mean, blinking light of a certain frequency can, in some of us, trigger seizures or some kind of reaction, a meltdown even. We can experience meltdown in circumstances when, and often like when we have to go to hospitals, it's very common, or dentist or hospital or something. I have to wear sunglasses to the dentist so that I don't see the fluorescent bulbs. And if I have to go into a health clinic or a hospital, then there are always these fluorescent lights, and there is nobody thinking about my sensory situation. In general, people are totally unaware of that. And then I sometimes, but this is, we'll talk about in general. Then we also have audio, which is that many autistic people have very sensitive hearing, and we can actually hear things extremely well, and that can be the reason why autistic children that do not speak, for instance, love playing with pots or pans, or love to hit the oven with something metallic, because they are listening to the sound. And they have such sensitive hearing that they are hearing much more than normal people do. And then also, many autistic people do not like to be touched very much. Some of them do not want to be touched at all, and you have to like respect their private space, and you have to ask often. If you know it's an autistic person, you have to ask, is it okay if I hug you? Can I touch your shoulder? Is that uncomfortable for you? You know, you have to be aware of these things. Also, we are sensitive to the types of clothes that we wear. Some people always almost wear the same kind of clothes because they can only, then again, it's a matter of texture. It's that the fabric has a certain texture or a certain feel to it, and maybe they only want to wear cotton, pure cotton, you know, nothing synthetic. And not for environmental reasons, it's because how it feels. And And then I would also say that some autistic people, especially children, autistic children that do not speak, and they may not start speaking until they are 4 or 5 years old, some of them, they can be very telepathic. And they can be, in fact, I've read a story where a 5-year-old kid that was not speaking, he was actually like remote controlling his mother. So he only sent her the picture of a glass of milk, and she instinctively went to the cooler and asked him, "Do you want a glass of milk?" You know, he was like remote controlling everybody, the whole family telepathically around, and everybody was, you know, turning around him. He was very happy he could control everybody and nobody was realizing it. I've tried this myself, like inserting a thought into another person's mind, and this sometimes works. Actually, I can think, like, if a person is thinking, should I buy the white blouse or the red blouse? Then I can think red, and the person said, yeah, maybe I should buy the red one, you know. And this actually works. I've tested it. It works. And so we that are autistic, in some ways we can be telepathic, and we can be more telepathic than normal people are, because we are in fact more sensitive. And we have the clairs, like we call them, that's being clairvoyant, that's seeing pictures in your mind, that is seeing with your inner eyes, your mind's eye, actually seeing things that are maybe not visible to almost deathly people. That is, that you see, you can both see pictures from the past. Like I have seen pictures from Magellan's voyage around the globe. I've seen images from Magellan's voyage from around the globe, like visions in my mind. And I cannot explain it. I don't believe I was there, but I'm like getting to see like a picture. It's like a movie. I get to see pictures from that expedition.
Can I ask a question? Have you read, did you read the book about it, or did you see pictures from it, or?
No, not until afterwards. So first the picture came, and first the pictures come, and first the information comes. And that's also being claircognizant. Claircognizance is like knowing things without knowing how you know them. Exactly. And that is something which autistic people also can have a very high sensibility, that they actually know things even about the future, or about that maybe they are a bit psychic. They can see into the future. They know what's going to happen. They don't want to go. Maybe I don't want to go in the car now because I know you're going to run out of gasoline or something. You know, they know it before it happens. And then also we have clairaudience, which is actually more like hearing something, like a sentence or a voice, but that's not as common. But that exists, and we have to be aware that this exists. And then also there is the ASP. ASP is being a highly sensitive person. AHP, that's highly sensitive person, and many people on the autism spectrum are also highly sensitive persons. So they have some of these, they have sensory issues that are unusual. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They are sensing the world in a very different way. And then also this has to do with movement. This has to do with how we move through three-dimensional space. We experience often, we have a different kind of spatial intelligence, and we are moving through space in a different way. Mm-hmm. Very few people understand that.
Interesting. So do you feel like those processing issues have been inhibiting you in some ways?
Both yes and no. It is like one of my issues is that I want to keep my feet firmly on the ground.
Okay.
which means that I don't like airplanes. And that means that I do not travel. I do not like to travel. I don't want to travel. I don't like to go into airplanes. I do not like the feeling of being suspended in any kind of way, or in air, or I don't like jumping. I don't like standing on ladders. I want to have my feet firmly on the ground. I want to feel the touch. And then also I have a autistic hearing, auditory. I'm very sensitive to noise. Noise can make me extremely irritated, and noise, even like just the radio, can make me throw me into a meltdown. And if the music in the radio is bad, and you know, I'm so terribly sensitive to everything that I hear, that I have a private room in my house that I can go into the room, and I can put on headphones, noise reducing headphones, and I can listen to music. I've often wished that I could listen to silence. I've often wished that you could play silence over noise, actually neutralize the noise with silence, but that's not possible. But the thing is that, but on the other hand, I have a very sensitive ear, a hearing. And I enjoy music enormously. I have a very high level of music enjoyment.
Mm-hmm.
I even tried to compose some music myself. I've been singing in choirs, and I absolutely love to hear my own voice mixing with other voices and everything coming together and creating a whole. And it gives me enormous satisfaction, which is probably more joy or greater joy than most other people experience. And then also I have a visual, I see things differently from normal people. So my visual sense for colors and 3 dimension is different. So I also enjoy the visual arts very much. I enjoy paintings. I used to draw a lot when I was a kid, and I was excellent in all visual arts and music, and I could do everything there that I wanted to do. But that's so I can enjoy it, and that's also so this is not necessarily, being so highly sensitive person is not always a bad thing, because you are actually able to connect with the sublime in the life, and you may even be able to sense things that other people do not sense. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I get visions from the past. I can sometimes get access to events when I'm reading history. I sometimes see, like I'm seeing a movie, exactly what happened. Like if I'm I'm reading about the Second.
Yeah, something happened here.
Then I sort of can see it. I can see what happened almost.
There was a silence on my end, so the last couple of sentences, you may want to say them again.
Repeat them. Yes, I say that I sometimes, when I'm reading historical books, it's almost if I'm watching a film also, in my mind's eye, with my inner eyes, I can see like pictures coming from history, and some of them seem to be real.
Okay. So that's how you kind of visualize the story you're reading about, for the history.
Yes.
Yeah. So the impact of sensory is kind of not impacting you as much now as it used to, because you're aware of what's going on, isn't it? Or what do you think? How did it happen?
Well, I'm pretty much isolating myself pretty much most of the time, you know. I'm very much at home, and I'm very much in my own room, and I'm pretty much closing off all, you know, I have sort of isolated myself a little bit. That's not a good thing to do, but sometimes that's often an option. I mean, we often do this. I'm married and I have a son and so I have a family, but still I need this room that I have that I can go walk into, and often, like for a few hours a day, I want to be within my own room, just in either listening to beautiful music or in complete silence, because I can't handle like the radio, the traffic, the noise, the TV, all kinds of things that are maybe going on, and you know, I simply can't deal with it.
So it really is impacting your lifestyle.
Yes, it does, because I mean, I go mainly to the music conservatory to sing and with my son piano lessons. So so I sometimes go to choir practice or something like that. I sometimes go to concerts when it's not COVID. I go to concerts and so on. But I am a little bit restricting. I mean, I don't go downtown much to restaurants. I don't go to bars. I don't go to discotheques. I don't go to, you know, that's just out of the question. Like a bar is completely out of the question for me.
Mhm.
And actually, one of my worst nightmares was when I had to pass through Kastrup Airport, and I was taken as a random check in security check. I had a computer, a laptop, and I was taken. They took me out of the queue, and I was a random selection for a extra security check, and I couldn't tell them that I was autistic, and I wanted, if I didn't know, I would have been, you know, they would have arrested me if I had done what I wanted to do. What I really wanted to do was to throw myself on the ground and just hit, you know, and scream, you know, with my that was what I was feeling inside, the meltdown. I was going through a meltdown, but I had to keep a poker face.
Mm-hmm. You had to mask up.
You know,
yeah.
I had to mask because I was afraid, you know. I knew that they had guns and everything, and so I thought if I don't behave, if I start screaming or something, they will just, you know, they will arrest me.
Mm-hmm.
And they won't understand. That's the problem. They won't understand that I'm sensing the world in a very different way, and that they are doing something which is very uncomfortable for me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this has been insightful, Ingibjörg. Thank you so much. This was a great conversation, and we'll continue and doing more. And so
Yes.
I'll end this now, and we'll find time to continue later on another subject. Thank you, Ingibjörg.
Thank you.